أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. God alone. Verse 11 says, Say, I have been commanded to worship God, devoting the religion absolutely to Him alone. And I was commanded to be the utmost submitter. Say, I fear if I disobeyed my Lord, the retribution of a great day. Say, God is the only one I worship, devoting my religion absolutely to Him alone. These are all commandments from God to you. I'm going to read them again, starting at 11. God is telling you to say, I have been commanded to worship God, devoting the religion absolutely to Him alone. So there is no room for Jesus or Moses or Muhammad or the saints. Huh? Yes. And I was commanded to be the utmost submitter. The utmost submitter never complains. That's a sign of submitter or not. The utmost submitter is content with whatever God gives us and understands. 13. Say, I fear if I disobeyed my Lord, the retribution of a great day. Submitters also realize that everything has a price. And this is now after passing all the tests, and you've passed your final test, you're in good shape, then you cannot deviate outside the path that God drew for you. Because if you deviate, it's very expensive. It seems out of proportion, but really it is not. You know, when I got pinched in the past, I say, wow, this is too much. I didn't do that bad. And then I was come back, yes. This is it. You didn't do too bad, but this is the price for it. Yeah. The pinch is always way out of proportion, it seems. I guess because, you know, we somehow we grow up with the notion that God is forgiving, merciful, which is true. But we tend to abuse this. Son. God wants to make you perfect. And the system that I have noticed personally, and maybe you too, is that God will take one of your defects at a time. And He will keep after you until you get rid of that defect. Then He will start another one until you cleanse out of that one. The end result is a perfect human being. There is such a thing. You'll be following God's commandments perfectly. And you'll be a perfect human being. So the utmost submitter understands all these things. Remember that the utmost submitter has a perfect life. The only reason you have a headache is because something you have done. I don't think there are any exceptions to that. There are no exceptions. You don't get a scratch or a headache without something you have done. So it behooves you to find out what it is that you have done. Don't defend yourself either. I used to laugh when I tell some people, what did you do wrong? I didn't do anything wrong. You know, you become on the defensive. I say, hey, wait a minute, you're supposed to join me and in attacking your quote-unquote self and find out what you did wrong. You become very defensive. But we're supposed to do this ourselves. We have to find out what did I do wrong. But if I'm too egotistic to pinpoint what I did wrong, then I just go on, because the punishment will continue until you know what it is. When you know what it is and you repent, it never happens again. The problem is solved. So an utmost submitter means no problems of any kind. It's almost unbelievable. But you see, God taught us repeatedly. God used me as a guinea pig, a happy guinea pig. I mean, I put myself in situations where a problem should have happened, but it wasn't the cause of God, so a problem didn't happen. And the reason I'm saying this is because Ihsan is sitting here, and she expected a big problem. Thank you. I was busy with this translation, and I slept here 3 nights in a row. I didn't go home for 3 days. And then the answering machine, the telephone rang, the answering machine came on, my wife was on the phone. This is Stephanie. So Ihsan started to run away. And she said, this is it, she's going to divorce you, you're finished. This is it, big fight. So as she was approaching this door here to run away, she heard her say, I made a batch of Italian cookies that they were so delicious, I'm sorry we finished all of them, so I'm going to make another batch. She couldn't believe it. Until now she can't believe it. So, but this is, God manipulates the minds and the hearts of the people. In fact, this happened again when 3 or 4 weeks ago. Yeah, a few days ago, when this visit, I slept here 2 nights in a row. And she called, what did she say this time? What did she want? No, say it again. What did? Chat. I want to chat. I forget what she wanted, but it was peaceful. She was also running away. Oh, yes. She said, I'm the happiest person in the world. I said, what? No, I was insulted. Hey, wait a minute. Honest, this is what she said. Yes, I remember now. She said, I'm the happiest person in the world. I said, what happened? She said, I found the car I've been looking for a long time. I'm like a baby. I'm like a child who found the toy. This is exactly what she said. She's been looking for a car. So, this is a situation that warrants a problem, right? With most people. Where have you been? You're a half hour late. If you left your office at 2:30, you should have been here at 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock now. So, what I'm saying is that God's mercy and grace allowed us to learn from experience. We really have a track record, and it is Adib did not comfort with my statement, because he has to go through what I went through. When I make a blanket statement, a believer has a perfect life, no problems, no headache, no traffic tickets. He always tells me, what if we grow and we have a lot of people and problems happen? They don't happen, God can handle them. God's law is absolute. Let me just read it with you again, because I wanted to pass this on to the people. Let's look at 1062 or 1162. What is it? Page 216. I think Adib will appreciate that, because the Arabic is so powerful, and he knows it. He knows the Arabic. The top of page 216 says, absolutely, God's allies have nothing to fear, nor will they grieve. In Arabic, ألا إن أولياء الله لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Very strong Arabic says, absolutely. I try to bring it in the English as close as possible. God's allies have nothing to fear, nor will they grieve. The next verse identifies who are they. They are those who believe and lead a righteous life. That's it. If you believe and lead a righteous life, you have nothing to fear, nor will you grieve. Why are you peeking through the? Why are you peeking through the crack? Come on in.
Is it okay?
Okay, or what?
I have kids over at the museum, and I just wanted to come by to pray.
Sure. That's fantastic. Number 64 says, for them, joy in this world. We don't have to die first before we enjoy heaven. It happens here. For them, joy in this world and the hereafter. This is God's unchangeable decree. Such is the greatest triumph. So So this is it. God's law. You have to realize that there is an admission test, and the admission test is very exacting. Very exacting. It's usually in the first 5 years after you claim that you come to worship God alone. Doesn't mean it will last 5 years. Don't be scared. It comes within. If you're proven to be a total submitter completely in the first month, then it is over. But you must realize it happens, and all the while you're in God's hand. The test is very tough. Where is Mahmoud? Did he leave? Yeah, he's going to check his carburetor. Mahmoud is he's undergoing a test like that. He temporarily lost his wife, his kids, his cars, his computers, and he's very cheerful, as you see. It's all temporary. Everything will be restored and twice as much. He knows that. He's a good believer. And we know that. But what I want to say is that when you have a problem, you must understand the root of the problem. What is it? Why am I having this problem? So, if you're not in the admission test, then you did something wrong. The admission test simply, you say that you're going to worship God alone, and Satan says otherwise. Behrouz doesn't mean it. He's just saying that, and God tells him, okay, you can go and beat him up, but within the limit. You cannot do this and this to him. So Satan starts on Behrouz, beats him up, gives him backache, a few other problems. But it doesn't faze Behrouz. He continues to worship God alone. Then he's proven to be worshiping God alone. Then all the blessings open up. Just watch. Pardon?
I also have a cold and fever.
You have cold and fever now? Oh, well, this is part of the fun of traveling, The only thing wrong I can think of that you did, maybe feeling sympathy for the people who, out of ignorance, were idolizing Muhammad and Ibrahim and so on. Which
I
is...
still feel that they were idolizing, maybe they haven't understood it.
Yes. Well, their judgment is in God's hand, but I don't think... I think your cold and fever will go away as soon as you're convinced that that was wrong. You do that. Just a little principle, a reminder from God to us to make everything right. But this is a common, by the way, this is a common thing that I went through, everybody goes through, that we feel for our grandparents and so on. They were all nice people, we loved them very much. And our wishful thinking tells us maybe they didn't know, or their intention were good. So,
we have come to know because you have come in our time. They didn't have you in their time, perhaps they would
but see, they had the Quran, they had the message there. Okay, Lisa, you better get going. Yeah.
After you explain, we don't believe from the Quran. We believe after you explain. We were believing in one God.
Yeah, but you see, if they deserved better, God would have seen to it that they received the correction.
Because exactly this line my father would say, like, with a true believer, nothing can harm him, and God will give him heaven in this world, and for enjoying life, and there's no time we have to and he would fall in contact, with talks or when he finds something
MashaAllah.
wherever he was to mind.
This, but this is fine, but you cannot generalize it to the population. If you know a person personally and you see very well that he is worthy of heaven, he probably did go to heaven. Probably God understood his situation. I'm sure, not probably, I'm sure God understood the situation. But we cannot generalize this, and we cannot sympathize with that for our own good. Because if I say maybe these people have good intentions and we defend them, Satan will capitalize on that. So see, he or she is defending the idol worshippers.
I got a chance of having yesterday when I was questioning
I'm glad you knew that. Yeah. This is a good example actually, and 99.9% this is exactly the connection. Yes. And it's wonderful to know that, because you probably never again question the wisdom of the Quran.
I didn't mean to, but the way I sounded, I probably...
Yes, exactly. It is the way it sounds. See, Mrs. Amir Ali was perfectly innocent when she's talking about those past generations, but Satan will take that innocent statement and will make a big mountain out of it. He will actually say she's defending the idol worshippers, and there is a law in the Quran that you do not defend idol worshippers, even if they were your parents, and so on. Remember, he's a liar. Satan is a liar, and if you don't word our statements carefully, especially when we're touching on the issue of idol worship, he will take that and will capitalize. If I say the slightest thing in defense away from God, so this is why I don't compromise. When they ask me about white lies and little insurance and things, I don't compromise, because if I say anything that is a little, just slightly away from God's law, Satan will capitalize on it and say, see, he doesn't follow your law. Then I'll get smashed in the head. Because God invariably called Satan's excuses, and he says, yeah, okay, go test him. Because God puts limits on him. When he sends him to test you, he puts limits on you. He says you can give her a cold and fever, but that's about it. You cannot give her a headache, for example. We need to understand this mechanism. We believe in God. God told us there is Satan, and we need to understand what does Satan do. We read the other day, some of you were here, some were not, that Satan will come from your right, your left, from your right, left, front, and back. He will come to you from every direction, and he will exactly catch those sentences that may be misunderstood to mean that you're defending the idol worshippers or deviating from God's law. And he'll say, this person, he will lie. But he will use your words. So we don't want to give him a chance to do that. Like Roxana said, she didn't mean to question God's wisdom. She was just discussing the thing intellectually. But it sounded like, if I didn't know her, I would think she's questioning God's wisdom. Why didn't God prohibit first cousin? Why are the Christians wiser than God, for example, in prohibiting first cousin marriages? Satan will do that. Satan will say, Roxana means that you're not as wise as the Christians. So who would...
I think it takes a while before realizing that
yes.
every letter of the Quran has to be followed, otherwise you make mistakes.
Yes, exactly. Takes a while. Yes. Takes a while. Where is Martha? Martha. Oh. No jumping, honey. Sit down. Sit down. Don't jump. Shut the door. Oh, are you there? Oh, you're playing? Okay. I just want to keep the kids under control because they're jumping now.
You're off. Thank you.
Mrs. Amir Ali is not supposed to have a headache or cold or flu or anything. I think also we have to realize the limitations of our bodies, I guess. No, I don't want to compromise with that.
Well, my problem,
I just remembered.
my back problem, I knew that I'm not supposed to pick up anything.
Yes.
But in 4 days, I didn't have any pain. And all of a sudden...
This part of the test, you took Mehdi's.
This time
you love him so much that you said, I'm going to take you back here.
I don't know if he's going to love me this
Because
time.
it's his anniversary. God will love you and will remove it. God loves you and will remove it, inshallah. reason I said I stopped in the middle of the sentence, we have to realize the limitations of our bodies. We're going to say Alhamdulillah, MashaAllah, Subhanallah, and all this, because you can brag when you say that. You give God the credit, you can brag about it. Brother Abdul Hayy was here, and he came and looked at my computer, my chair, and he said you're supposed to have a terrible backache, because I'm sitting at the computer an average 10 hours a day. He said this computer is too high or too low, the chair is this and that. So do you have back problems? I said no. So he said you're supposed to. But so this is what I mean by even the body limitations, God will heal you somehow. You're in your admission test, so don't complain. You're not complaining. Alhamdulillah.
Okay. When Satan he takes the sentences that you say,
Right.
turns them as tools to get against you.
That's Allah.
Does he use the sentences that you say in your mind? Like sometimes you
No.
things.
No, he doesn't know what's in your mind.
Also, only what you say orally.
Right. Satan and even the angels do not know what's in your mind. But there's a big but. God knows what's in your mind. You see this at the end of Surah 2. God is the only one who knows what's in your innermost thoughts. Not only He knows what's in your mind, He knows what's in your mind 10 years from now. That's in Surah 20. God knows He knows what is more secret than the secret. So what's more secret than the secret? The future secret. So Satan doesn't know your what's in your mind, but God does. So, and God says, do not have anything wrong inside your mind. Go ahead.
When evil thoughts take come into your mind, Satan doesn't put them there.
Your companion does. Yes. Your companion is in there. And your companion put those thoughts, and it is your job to sift through them. And if it's, in fact, remember the verse that says, the believers, when a whisper from the devil comes to them, they seek refuge in God. Okay. Your companion is your devil. And it's your job to counter those bad thoughts. He will ask you to do all kinds of bad things. To lie, cheat, lose your temper. Does this mean that you lose her temper? No way. Don't look at her like that. Are you telling me that Princess Batul loses her temper? No. With 2 kids like that?
Companion is not in touch with Satan.
No. He is Satan. He represents Satan. He already has his built-in natural instinct to tell you not to pray, not to worship God alone, not to be honest, etc., etc. It's already, that's his nature.
Satan has is not in touch with them.
That's his seed. That's his seed. And it's inside your brain. So this is the only access he has to your brain. But it's your job and my job to convert this seed of Satan into a God-worshipping jinn.
So it's about your practices and studying upon and living the right life that converts that.
See, he's reading the Quran now. As you are reading, she is reading the Quran now. Excuse me. Yeah. As you read the Quran, she too is reading the Quran. And she's thinking about it.
You convinced her. Hey,
yes.
Now you are together.
Exactly. She tried her best to keep you from doing this. But you won and you brought her. In Surah 72, verse 6, that human beings sometimes use the jinns and they end up in trouble. And I know some people who use the jinns and the jinns became their God. And on the day of judgment, God will ask some of those jinns about that, and they will disown each other. I know one person who calls the jinns in, and the jinns say, I'm Ali ibn Abi Talib. And they will ask about things, and the jinn will play around with them, will give them information that they actually believe. That caused their destruction. Of course it's wrong. Probably not the jinn of Ali, but the companion of Ali. Because Ali died too long ago. I haven't heard of a jinn that's 1400 years old. If the jinns want to play around, they can say anything they want. If the person is crazy about Elvis Presley, they will come and say, I'm Elvis. They even sing. Just to fool the humans. See what can keep the kids quiet. What can we do to keep them quiet? No, I have a better idea of separating them. Everybody call your kids next to you. Let them sit next to you. They can hear something useful sometimes. Oh yeah. I've got my kid here. Okay. MashaAllah, nice and quiet this one. Yes. 159 says, God be glorified far above their claim. Only God's servants who are devoted to Him alone will be saved. Indeed, you and what you worship cannot impose anything on Him. Every one of you will burn in hell. All those people who blaspheme against God, some are misled by the jinn, etc., etc. Those who are not devoted to God alone have chosen, insisted on going to hell. The angels, each one of us has a specific job. So when you look at your kid and you say, MashaAllah, there's an angel specializing in protecting that kid. When MashaAllah invokes that protection. There's a mechanism for everything. When you get up in the morning and you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, La ilaha illallah, this invokes an angel that will stay with you all day and see to it that you have a nice day. (165) The angels say we are the arrangers, organizers. We have duly glorified our Lord. They used to say, had we received the correct instructions from our parents, we would have been worshippers devoted to God alone. But they disbelieved, they would find out. Victory for the messengers guaranteed. Our decision is already decreed for our servants, the messengers. They are surely the victors. Our soldiers are the winners. So disregard them for a while. Watch them, they too will watch. So they challenge our retribution. When it hits, they will be sorry. They have been warned. Disregard them for a while. Watch them, they too will watch. Glory be to your Lord, the great Lord, far above their claims. Peace be upon the messengers. Praise be to God, Lord of the universe. You notice the Quran is teaching us to make no distinction among the messengers. So God says, peace be upon the messengers. The next surah is the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, Sad, and the Quran that contains the mathematical code. The message of the miracle. And strange that we went through this today. So look at the references where this word is used, Dhikr, and it seems to point, among other things, to the mathematical code of the Quran. Those who disbelieved have plunged into arrogance and defiance. Many a generation before them we annihilated. They called for help, but to no avail. They wondered that a warner should come to them from among them. The disbelievers said, he is a magician, a liar. Did he make the gods into one God? Oh no. How strange. This is really strange. Because every messenger came with the message, there is no God except the one God. You must forget about the saints, the prophets, the messengers as idols. Did he make the gods into one God? This is really strange. The leaders announced, go and steadfastly persevere in worshipping your gods. This is all you need. We never heard of this from the religion of our fathers. This is a lie. These are the things that we hear exactly. We never heard of this from the religion of our fathers. This is their problem. And repeatedly the Quran says, when they are told, follow God's revelation, say, no, we follow what our parents taught us. So one needs to have an open mind and a freedom. You can't follow the parents blindly. There's too much at stake. This means perfect happiness here in this world, or terrible misery here in this world. Heaven and hell begin right here. And all we need to do is step into God's kingdom, then you're guaranteed perfect happiness. You step into Satan's kingdom and you're guaranteed perfect misery. Even if you make millions and live in mansions and what did Christina Onassis do with all her billions? She tried to commit suicide 6 times. Finally she succeeded and went to heaven because she was really her circumstances. She was abused, oppressed, misguided, mistreated, whatever. God knows her circumstances. She died at the age of 38. But she was a very unhappy person. How about her father? He was one of the richest men in the world. And all God did was nullify the muscles in his eyelids. I mean, these are the weakest muscles in our bodies. He couldn't open his eyes. He was willing to pay $100 million to fix that. Couldn't. He had the scotch tape. He had to keep it completely open all the time. And this is suffering, because it burns. Imagine keeping your eyes open all the time. Just try it for 2 minutes. See what happens. You cannot do it. It's the simple design that we take for granted, but God designed it to clean our eyes, wipe our eyes, and scratch our eyes. Yes? But it also moistens our eyes. There's a continuous flow of liquid in there. Are we going with it? Yeah, go ahead. Come, it's your problem. Thank you, Adil. One 73 says, our soldiers are the winners, by the way. Our soldiers are the winners. The believers are guaranteed victory, guaranteed. You know, every page of the Quran tells us that God is controlling everything. It just takes a believer to take advantage of that and enjoy it. There's a distinction going on between God's kingdom and Satan's kingdom. God's kingdom is characterized by perfect happiness, perfect health, perfect wealth, perfect peace of mind. Satan's kingdom is characterized by misery no matter what. It is proven over and over again that money, power, all the things that people work hard for do not guarantee happiness. All these people who have attained everything, money, mansion, power, fame, good looks, become on the front page is telling us they're unhappy. So I think this principle is very well established, that money, power, fame, good looks do not guarantee happiness at all. There's a statement in the Quran says that all happiness is in God's hand. All dignity, happiness is in God's hand. All of it. And the same expression, Al-Izzatu Lillahi Jami'a. Does this mean anything in Farsi? Al-Izzatu Lillahi Jami'a. All Izzat belongs in God's hand. And God decreed, made the law that He will give it only to the believers. God controls everything, withholds, gives. The more you thank me, the more I give you, God says. What does this mean? The more we are appreciative, the more God will give us. If we turn unappreciative, we lose everything. Just make a point of thanking God every chance you get for everything you have. Then God will give you more.
I think what God has given us, and we praise that, but in the meanwhile we say that thank you Lord, this is from you. Is it right, or we shouldn't say that?
Sure. This is how you thank God for whatever He gave you. Thank God for your health, for getting your children. How much would it pay to have for God next to you? $1 million, right? I knew at times when you're willing to pay $1 million for this. All it took was Sura Al-Hamd. Huh? Yes. God never turned us down. How's your back, Mehdi? See? We have Alhamdulillah. Look, Behrouz has been cutting furniture for the last week. He did it in Stockton and again in Tulsa. So at the end of this session, inshallah, we read Al-Fatiha for him and tomorrow he works up. God is new. Inshallah. Yes. Just take the back pain and throw it away from here. Inshallah. Oh, no worry, there's enough disbelievers. Yeah. Plenty of them, don't worry. Number 9 says, do they own the treasures of your Lord's mercy? He is the Almighty, the Granter. But number 8 we didn't read yet, because they question God's wisdom about choosing His messengers. Number 8, why did the message come down to Him instead of us? Indeed, they are doubtful of my message. Indeed, they have not yet tested my retribution. Do they own the treasures of your Lord's mercy? He is the Almighty, the Granter. Do they possess the kingship of the heavens and the earth and everything between them? Let them promote themselves. Instead, whatever forces they can muster, even if all their parties banded together, will be defeated. Look what's happening to communism. God gave them 40 years of communism to clean out the Trinity, and then He let them loose. Perfect plan. Open up. Wake up, Baba. Oh. Okay. I believe you. How many years have the East Europe been communist? Since 1945? Hmm?
44 years.
Yeah, 44. Yeah.
But I mean, East Europe, Soviet Union.
But even it's beginning now in the Soviet Union to break up. Did you hear?
Yeah, but the ideology,
Yeah.
that's not break up. That's they are set up with the old guys. They want to do away with the old guys.
And communism. Did you see the Romanian flag?
Yes.
Yeah. What does it look like now?
Who is now the people's face?
He was an opponent of Ceausescu.
It's the communists.
Well, not for long. The communism is out. Would you say communism succeeded?
They are still in power.
Okay.
For human, with human standards, for all political parties, they are still in power. They still control secret services, they still control the army, they still control the media, and they control, because the people in the street are socialists. They want socialism to work. They are disbelievers.
I see.
And they want socialism to work.
So we have to conclude that communism is a success. Great success.
The people are still supporting socialist values. The people are still telling the back to God.
I'm agreeing with you. Number 11. Instead, whatever forces they can muster would be defeated. Number 12. Disbelieving before them were the people of Noah, Ad, and the mighty Pharaoh. Also Thamud, the people of Lot, the dwellers of the woods of Midian. Those were the parties. Each of them disbelieved the messengers. Thus my retribution was inevitable. These people can expect a single blow from which they will never recover. They challenge these people. I understand to be the Arabs, and one blow I understand to be an asteroid from space. Inshallah. Number 16. They challenged our Lord. Why do you not trust the retribution for us before the day of reckoning? They challenged God. This is it. We usually read 2 pages and we leave the floor open for questions and discussion.
What is this dweller of the wood?
Midian. This is another name for Midian, which is now Gaza Strip. That's what Midian is. No. People of the wood. Yeah. What is Khashab? You have Khashab in Farsi? Khashab? Wood. What is wood? Huh? You know it. Okay, folks. There's a new word in the Farsi language. The new generation knows. Tube. So be the people of the tube. Not necessarily. No. Yes. You do lots of carpentry. Najjar. Don't call Najjar. Whatever the Arabic says. It's the people of the wood. Ashab al-Aika. Yes. We don't have to put our own interpretation. Go ahead.
Probably when you say they get this by big Littl. When I was in Tunisia, I was young, I was envious of the Saudis. So they're the people who are very closest to God.
They're the farthest now.
Because they were trying to give us that you don't have to do Ramadan. So we were envious of the other people. Found out one is the good and the other.
You see, having this message creates a great responsibility. It's a great privilege and a great responsibility. Of course, God says that the Jews, for example, are His chosen people. Written in the Quran a few times. So why are they suffering so much? Why did Hitler kill so many of them? Why were they scattered all over the world? Persecuted and discriminated against? Because of the responsibility. They received the scripture, they didn't follow it. Now, the Arabs received the Quran, which is a lot more powerful. It is the complete message. Every page says God alone, and they abandoned it. And this is documented in the Quran, in Surah 25. That they deserted the Quran. So you can imagine that their retribution will be a lot worse. And it's inevitable.
God says in the Quran, He never destroy a land before bringing messages.
It's a bad sign.
When the messenger comes, it has to have a land destroyed.
Yes. You can say that. It's the same. In Surah 17, God says, I will not send the retribution before I send the messenger. God made it a condition. So all these miracles that are showing up and the message and the messenger mean that there is a severe retribution coming to the disbelievers. No, there's no land. No, just God left it blank. It says we do not. No, let's look at Surah 17. You can see the expression. Trying to find it, getting close. Yeah. $15? Yeah, the end of 15. Says, we never punish without first sending a messenger. As the messenger points out, gives a choice to the people, and then they have to make a decision. After making a decision, they're held responsible for it. Yes, this life, yes. Talk about this world. What's the verse number?
Page 4, 34, and page 4, after we said.
What to read it? Go ahead, read it. So everybody can hear you.
34. Exact page 454. I think it's the first of verse 21 and 24. And but in this number, I don't know if this official meaning.
This is an incident where David was in a sanctuary and these two people went in, snuck in. For the 99 sheep. Yeah. They were fighting over one sheep. What? Actually, there's a great lesson here, but I wonder why did you pick this out?
I think before I put it, once before.
You don't know what it is?
Yes.
Well, it's just two brothers. Two brothers. One had 99 sheep, and the other had 1 sheep. God wants to teach us a lesson about being very careful when you judge between the people. And the fellow, they went to David to judge between them. The fellow with the 1 sheep said, I have 1 sheep and he has 99 sheep, and he wants to take mine. And he insists on it. So obviously, the one with the 99 sheep, David said, no, keep your sheep, don't give it to the fellow who has 99 of them. You have only 1. So if you give him your sheep, he'll have none, and he will have 100. Keep yours. So even though this judgment is very clearly fair, David still thought maybe he did the unjust judgment, and he repented, and he was asking God for forgiveness and everything. You can imagine how careful. This was made David. David is very special in the Quran. One of the preferred by God prophets. So, right. This is David's judgment. He told the fellow with the 1 sheep, keep your sheep. Don't give it to him. Then, even though this is a very clear and an extreme example of a good judgment, he said, maybe I did the wrong judgment. And he was repenting and asking forgiveness. And look, I mean, our presidents back home, they kill people. They don't just say, keep your 1 sheep and keep your 99. They kill people, commit murder, and they steal billions of dollars. Yes.
But this is also a question of I don't think that we should actually give it to him as a gift. It was a question of mixing them to let them eat together or mixing each other's property. There is a thing.
No, he wanted it. He wanted it. Maybe he wanted to buy it.
No, he won't.
That's okay. They wanted to mix, but he doesn't want to. Yes. The fellow with the 1 sheep didn't want to do it. That's not the point. Yes. You got it. That's yes, he waited. Yes. This was. Yeah, he waited. He waited when he studied and he did everything, and then he judged. Emily got it. And that he was afraid of. He was thinking of God. Did he do the right judgment? Of course. What would you do? Well, you are now. Somebody came to you and he says, I have 1 sheep and my brother has 99 sheep. And he wants to take my 1 sheep. So what would you do? Would you tell him to give his sheep to the other guy?
You can give the brother the sheep, but give every month money. If the brother, is giving to the brother, they can make a business and trade.
Okay, but so this fellow without a sheep, he will just sit there and do nothing. At least he has 1 sheep to care about. He will take it in the morning to eat, bring it in the afternoon. It's his job.
When you start from 7 days, okay, and I think it couldn't be time of Marmot, but I want to know that the time of Marmot and you, but my understanding is it could be.
7 doesn't have to do with the end of the world.
Okay, no, but after that he says,
Do not be jealous of what others.
okay. And after that, and proclaim, I am the manifest word.
Yes.
For we will also be with the divider.
Yes. To accept the Quran partially.
Okay. If the time of Muhammad, and proclaim, I am the messenger.
I didn't say it was the time of Muhammad.
Yeah, because they accepted Quran only partly. The time of Muhammad, the
There was no Quran.
complete that
But you're making an assumption that is not there. I didn't say it was at the time of Muhammad. I didn't say it was at the time of Muhammad.
It wasn't. It couldn't be.
I didn't say that. Where did you get that?
No, I said my understanding before. I wanted your idea.
No, I mean, does it say in the translation that this is the time of Muhammad?
No.
Well, you're making the wrong assumption and then you're carrying on based on that.
This is not.
This happens quite often. Sometimes we make a wrong assumption and then we build on it. And we keep going on and on. So I'm stopping you before you go on and on. What is the footnote? It's applicable also at the time of Muhammad. It's just, I'm leaving it as it is in the Quran. I see what you mean. In other words, at the time of the Prophet Muhammad, the Quran was not complete. It was not in this form. Yes. It has to be now. I see what you mean. Sorry. Your chicken kitchen English sometimes confuses me.
God tells us, but in 6 days he made heaven and the earth, and why didn't he tell us?
Because he will not make it until after the judgment, when all the people are called back, and then the bad ones will go to hell. So God doesn't want to do it now. He wants to do it afterwards. God created heaven. The heavens and the earth are different from heaven, which is paradise. God created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. But heaven or paradise is different from heaven. You see, the English language confuses it a little bit. So there is the heavens and the earth, which were created in 7 days, and there is paradise, which some people also call heaven. And this is already in existence. But hell will not be created until after the day of judgment. On the day of judgment. Good question. MashaAllah. See, the children, they pick up things. You think they're sitting there oblivious. You think this guy is oblivious to what he's uploading everything. Right, Hanan? MashaAllah.
And curious to see again, many says you shall sing the praise of your Lord. Is that singing like singing?
No, it's the English expression, meaning praise God all the time. If you want to do it outside of here. But money can put up with that. Does he sing a lot? Not even in the shower? Magic. Witchcraft.
But it says also that people usually use it in a bad way.
mean that people can use it in a good way?
No. God says it only brings harm, no good.
Either way.
That should not be abused. I don't know, I have to think about it. But it's a statement.
That the jinns are...
Yeah, it's using the jinn.
satanic side.
Yeah.
So most of their works are evil.
All evil.
Somebody asked it and I said, what way? And then she said, no, go and ask it.
You see, if it's something good, it will be temporary. Like the psychic who tries to stop the train, remember? It worked for him for a while, but then at the crucial time, the jinn said, bye. Usually it's in bad way. We have to stay away from the jinn.
So it depends to that verse that you read,
Right. Should never have anything to do with jinn. Yes, invariably, yes. Invariably it's taken away from God.
So how come the story was often used in jail?
God is the one who put them in his service. God says, I committed the jinn to serve Solomon. Not only the jinn, the birds. Who? Karim? Karim. You are. You become a good one. You're conversing him right now by reading the Quran. When you read the Quran and think about it, our jinn is also reading the Quran at the same time and thinking about it. And your jinn will tell you, don't pray, don't believe this. Why go through all the trouble? This is his job. And you tell him, no, I'm going to pray 5 times a day because I want to be happy all my life. I'm going to follow this because this guarantees me victory and happiness. And he tells you, oh, forget it, this is all nonsense. So you continue to debate like this until you convert him, inshallah. Then you become friends. Become identical.
Exactly, my question was equal. When I hear that there's too much power in it, I believe everything is going up. Of course, I'm not going to spread myself there, but I mean, for example, on the outside, the jinn is going to push me.
Yes, the jinn will whisper to you.
Still, I believe it. Okay?
Yes.
It's a challenge between me and the jinn. This is everybody early morning when I'm tired. Let me sleep, okay?
Mm-hmm. The jinn is telling you to sleep.
Yeah. My question is,
yeah, this is all of us. Our jinn is always telling us to not to worship God alone.
So we need all the time, as long as I'm alive, I have challenge between me and...
No. There will be a time when, like Karim said, there will be a time when he's completely competitive. As a matter of fact, can be ahead of you. Tomorrow, you're going to be here for the khutbah, Friday prayer? Yes, inshallah. So we're going to hear an example of jinn that is cooperating with you.
Then our jinn is doing most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, is that possible that our jinn guide us?
Yes. Sometimes the jinn will be ahead of you. And the Quran, we were reading yesterday, or the day before yesterday, how God matches your companion. Matches the companion, the jinn and the human companion are matched. So if you're destined to believe, God matches the believing jinn with you, who is also destined to believe. A person who is destined to disbelieve, God will match a disbelieving companion. This makes sense.
What about astrology? Do they make other people jinns in that?
No, this is simply observation they notice that if the sun is in the zodiac and another zodiac, this and that, so something happens on earth. They notice that the people who are born under a certain sign have certain characteristics. So they made notes and they compiled them and computerized them. Then if you tell me that you're a Libra, I can tell you what your characteristics are. You're more susceptible to cold and things like that. Just observations. It's a compilation, but it's very, it has a long way to go. No. Jinn, we cannot see the jinn, but I guess some manifestations in the jinn people will think like ghosts.
But if the jinn is children of Satan, and they in the first life they totally agree with Satan. How different is the human and the jinn? The sense is the same they do.
God gives the jinns a longer life and more ability to fly in the universe and study God's signs. But the humans are given 7172. 7172 again.
There are that much ability to go to all the universe, so you have to be more superior than the people.
No, because they already made up their mind very strongly that Satan is right. See, here God gathered the children of Adam, not the children of Satan, not the jinn. Right. Not really, no. It's just that there's a different allegorical heaven for them. Because, how do I, let us say, compare you with a tree. You and the tree. You think of it as two creatures. And I'm saying I'm going to put you and the tree, I'm going to put you both in heaven. I'm going to give you steak. I'm going to give you potatoes and rice and fruit. Do you think the tree will go for that? What? Do you understand what I said? No, you are a creature and the tree is a creature. And I'm telling you, I'm going to put you both in heaven where you can eat steak every day. No what? Right. So the humans and the jinns are two different creatures. And God is telling us, I'm going to put you in gardens with grapes and pomegranates and fruit. The jinns don't care about that. So God is telling them that you're going to have your own heaven, which is a different thing. Yes, it's going to be the same heaven.
Are the plants sold the same as ours?
Mm-hmm. It's 55 cents. MashaAllah. Gracias. Yes. No, it's just as creatures. Well, it's my sleeping time, brothers and sisters, so I'm going to retire and see you in the morning. I get up at what time? Yeah.
10.
No, it's 1 o'clock.
Are you working?
left home at 1, so I got here about 20 after 1. So this is why don't laugh at me when I say it's my sleeping time.